So this video is going to look a little bit different. I want to talk about the state of learning guitar in 2025. And rather than putting this in my usual, more structured format, I just want to sit here and give you my unfiltered thoughts and opinions and open this up to conversation and input from all of you. So please, as you're going through this video, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I really look forward to reading them. And if this style of video is something you enjoy, I'll just ask you to hit the thumbs up button below so I know that you like it. So I've been making guitar lessons on YouTube for a little over 3 years now, and I feel like I've got a pretty good feel for what's helping people and what's hurting people when it comes to learning the guitar. And there's this one thing that I see coming up over and over, but it manifests itself in a bunch of different ways that I think most people just aren't realizing. And that thing is that you feel like you need to learn more than you actually need to learn. So this really starts with how learning the guitar has changed over the last few decades. Years ago, a lot of the knowledge required to play guitar could only be properly accessed in a few ways. There were books and stuff, but typically you would go to a single guitar instructor and learn from that one source. That instructor probably had some kind of formal music education. Alternatively, you could go to school yourself and get your own formal music education. But as the years went by, we started to get access to this information and knowledge in new ways. This started with those VHS or DVD courses and has now moved all the way along to things like YouTube or other social media platforms where you can pretty much have any question answered by just pulling out your phone. And what this has done is present constant access to a flow of new things to learn at all times, which is amazing, but it also tends to be fairly harmful to the majority of players that just want to have a good time and enjoy what they play on the guitar. This is because there's always going to be more things you can learn. All the different voicings of every chord, every triad shape across the different string sets, all their inversions, new scales, modes, rhythmic patterns, subtle techniques, complex theory, the list goes on forever. But all of these things are not created equal. As much as someone on the internet might tell you how you can't be a serious guitarist if you don't master all 7 modes of the major scale, the truth is that for most of us, we'll be spending 99% of our time just using one of them. Ionian, also known as just the major scale. We might dabble a little bit in Dorian or Mixolydian to get a very specific sound, but the likelihood of you ever needing to use the Locrian scale is pretty slim. Could you spend your time learning it? Absolutely. But is it more valuable to put that same effort into deepening your mastery of a scale you're actually going to use? I sure think it is. This video is sponsored by Soloing Made Simple, my very own course on improvising and writing melodic guitar solos. It's 3 hours of video lessons that take you step by step through the method I personally use to solo freely across the entire fretboard. There's even a whole album's worth of custom backing tracks in there for you to download and practice along to as well. If you want to check it out, you can get 20% off by using the coupon code 2025 at checkout. I'll put a link for you to learn more about Soloing Made Simple at the top of the description. So let's take a step back and talk about what I think you should be doing to really have a successful relationship with your guitar. It all starts with your goals, and that's going to look different for all of us. Whether you want to focus on a specific genre, or you want to play in a certain environment, you want to perform or record or accompany yourself while singing, it's going to mean a slightly different path for everyone. But what we all have in common is that we all just want to have fun and enjoy the journey without it feeling like a chore or some never-ending series of boring tasks you have to complete. And the way to make guitar fun is to focus less on learning more things and more on applying, expanding, and creating with the things we already know. The most progress I ever made in my guitar playing was when I sat in my bedroom as a teenager with Slow Dancing in a Burning Room by John Mayer on loop, playing this one tiny major scale shape over the track. It's literally what got me addicted to playing guitar, because all of a sudden, I was in control. I wasn't reading from tabs or going through memorized mechanical motions. I was just playing and making music. And once I felt like I'd exhausted everything that tiny shape could do, only then did I expand into a slightly bigger major scale shape. But keeping everything I learned connected to that original little spark, even to this very day, is what made the whole journey so satisfying and rewarding. And even now, whenever I teach a lesson on soloing, I almost always start with that same major scale shape, and oftentimes that same slow dancing in a burning room chord progression that worked such wonders for me. I'm just seeing a lot of players constantly feeling like they're supposed to add more shapes or ideas or techniques to their playing to actually see progress or an improvement, when the truth is that there is so much power in the fundamentals, and it's far more valuable to push those fundamentals further than it is to skim through them and move on to the next shiny thing. So to kind of wrap everything up, what I want to get across to anyone watching this video is don't fall for the trap of rushing to constantly learn more. Instead, try to spend just a little more time developing your musical relationship with those fundamentals through things like improvisation, songwriting, or jamming. So rather than recommending a lesson for you to watch next, I really just want to hear about what you've experienced as someone trying to improve their guitar playing in 2025. What's worked for you and what hasn't? Leave that in the comments, and I look forward to reading what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.